Good evening. This is the Civil Service Commission meeting for the City of Tumwater, Thursday, March 21st at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you, Michelle. So we'll call a meeting to order. Before we begin, do we have, well, let me call a meeting to order. Let me just go ahead and go around the table to introduce ourselves. I'm Simon T., Chair for the Commission, Civil Service Commission.
Make sure I'm not muted. This Blake Chard, I'm a commissioner.
Brian Hurley, Fire Chief.
John Crimmins, Assistant Fire Chief.
Michelle Sutherland, Administrative Services Director and Secretary Chair.
John Wicks, Police Chief.
Well, thank you, everyone. So before we proceed with the agenda items, do we have any proposed changes to the agenda items, or are we good to go with what was presented in the attachment or the agenda?
I'm good.
We don't have any changes this evening.
All right, that's good. Michelle, would you like to share the agenda so that we can kind of look at it as we proceed with the meeting?
There we go.
Thank you. All right. The next item is the approval of the minutes. I believe the January meeting, there wasn't enough quorum for a meeting to be held that day because I had a family emergency. I remember having to take my family pet to the vet. So I suppose there isn't any meeting minutes to be approved. Am I correct?
That is correct.
All right. Okay, so let's move to the next agenda item, which is status of February eligibility list update.
Okay, so we have an update to the eligibility list, March 2024. We do have the lists that were established in February were Battalion Chief and MSO Battalion Chief. The lists that were expired include the lateral paramedic firefighter. And for police, we've got the police officer entry and lateral, which are active continuous postings. The police services specialist 2 is also active and continuous. And as far as I know, those are the only changes. I did, as secretary examiner, do a provisional certification of these lists in January and February, as we did not have a quorum and one meeting was canceled. So the civil service rules do grant me the authorization to do that so we can have timely action for recruitment in the event that we're either unable to meet or for you to certify eligibility. So just so you're aware, I did do that provisional certification for January and February.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Any question, comments, Commissioner?
No, I have no question.
Okay. Good, thank you. So let's get to the next item of the agenda. So the next,
police. Go ahead, Simon.
yeah, the next item is approval of entry level police eligibility list. Am I correct?
Yes. And the list is showing on the screen. We have 5 additions to the list, which are shown on the bottom right here. And we have 2 that were removed from the list. So we're asking for certification of the current list for March of 2024.
Were the 2 removed for expiration or because of they've been hired either by our city or some other cities? Can you provide information on that?
Yeah, Commissioner Teague, we hired Jeffrey Phillips. He started Monday. And then Alex Alvarenga withdrew on the day of our chief's interview. He called and advised he had been picked up by another agency.
Got it. Thank you. Any other question, Commissioner Char?
No questions.
All right. Do we have a motion to move to to approve this police officer entry-level list?
I move we approve the police officer entry-level list as presented.
I second the motion, and those who approve of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Some motion adopted. It's approved. Let's move forward to the next item on the agenda, which is approval of Police Services Specialist 2 eligibility list.
Yes, we had 4 candidates added to the list for the Police Services Specialist 2 eligibility for a total of 7. We're asking for approval for this list.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Commissioner Char, any question
No questions.
and any motion?
I move that we approve the police services specialist 2 list as presented.
I second the motion, and then those who approve of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So motions move forward, and we approve of the Police Services Specialist 2 eligibility list as presented. And the next item is the approval of Battalion Chief eligibility list. Michelle?
The Battalion Chief eligibility list, the examination was in February of this year, and we had 4 qualified candidates to add to the Battalion Chief list. And seeking approval for this list as well.
Okay, any question, Commissioner Char?
No questions.
All right,
I will move that we approve the battalion chief eligibility list as presented.
I second the motion, and those who approve of the motion said aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carried. So the Battalion Chief eligibility list is approved. Next item is the approval of MSO Battalion Chief eligibility list.
Yes, we have 1 candidate that qualified for this list in February of 2024, requesting approval to add him to this list for approval.
Commissioner, any question?
No questions.
Just as a side note, I did a provisional certification on this list on February 8th so that they could move forward with that process.
Okay, so we have a motion, any motion, Commissioner?
I move we approve the MSO Battalion Chief eligibility list as presented.
And I second the motion, and those of us who approve of the motion say aye.
All right,
Aye. So medical service officer, battalion chief eligibility list is approved. Now we can move to the next item, which is the approval of the lateral police officer eligibility list. Michelle?
Yes, we had one lateral police officer added to this list in January of 2024. So we do have 3 candidates on the list now and seeking approval for this continuous list.
Any question, Commissioner Char?
no questions.
Well, any motion?
I move we approve the lateral police officer eligibility list as presented.
And I second the motion, and those of us approve of the motion, say aye.
All right,
Aye. Motion carried. The lateral police officer eligibility list is approved. And we can move to the next item, which is the approval of lateral firefighter continuous exam plan.
Yes, and this is a change. We would like to have the lateral firefighter exam plan be continuous instead of just approval as we need it. I think the continuous exam plan will allow us to pull candidates from there on a regular basis should we need to. Brian, did you have any comment, or Sean, as to why you would like this to be continuous?
If you were speaking, I think you might be muted.
Okay, how's that?
That's
Yes,
good.
yeah, better, yeah.
Okay, I have a delay here, so I'm sorry. Yes, this is, we've periodically brought these requests to the commission to establish these lists. So rather than maybe once or twice a year doing that, it just made a lot more sense to have a continuous process so we can, much like the police department does, as we get some folks who have applied, we can schedule oral boards and add them onto the list. So just it's a more efficient process.
Any question, Commissioner Char?
no
Thank
question.
you, Chief Brian. The only comment or question I have is that should there be any revision or suggested changes, of course, you will bring this exam plan before the commission for approval, right, Michelle? Chief?
Yeah, that's correct. These are the basic qualifications that we've used in the past in the same process. So if we ever wanted to change that, we would bring that back to the commission.
Right, thank you. I move that this lateral firefighter exam plan be approved. Any motion, any second for motion, Commissioner?
I'll second the motion.
And those who approve of the motion say aye.
All right,
Aye. So motion carried. So the lateral firefighter exam plan officially approved. The next item is the approval of lateral paramedic firefighter continuous exam plan.
Yes, we have an exam plan. Like to post the lateral paramedic firefighter position and seeking approval for this exam plan to move forward.
I
Any,
can just add that this is much like the lateral firefighter. process. And this is one that we've come to you more frequently to utilize. We are in much need of paramedics, so it will be very helpful for us just to have this continuous process.
Any question or comment, Commissioner Char?
No questions.
All right, any motion?
I move we approve the lateral paramedic firefighter exam plan and process approved as presented.
I second the motion, and those who approve of the motion said aye. Aye.
Aye.
So motion carried, so the lateral paramedic firefighter exam plan is adopted. I think that should be the last of the approval. Do we have any items still need to be, any list still need to be approved? Or let us one more, I'm sorry. Approval of fire prevention officer exam plan. Michelle?
Yes, seeking approval for the prevention officer exam plan. I did do a provisional certification on this so they could get this position posted in absence of our last meeting. So seeking approval, final approval for this prevention officer exam plan.
I'll just add, Commissioner, if you don't mind. This is our fire prevention officer is retiring at the end of June. So we're excited to get a process underway to see if we have internal applicants who are interested in filling that position. And this is the same process we used previously when we've filled the position.
Got it. Any idea when the last time we used it, or we had to fill this position? Probably some years ago?
Yeah, it was in, I believe our current fire prevention officer was in the end of 2021. And if Sean needs to correct me, he can, but I'm pretty sure that was the end of 2021.
Okay, thank you. It's not that too long ago then. Any question, Commissioner Char? If no question, I will take a motion.
You're muted, Commissioner Chard.
Trying to keep the dog out of it. I move that we approve the prevention officer exam plan as presented.
And I second the motion, and those who approve of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carry, and the prevention officer exam plan is adopted, approved as presented. So the next item is just an update. Michelle?
I
Any
do have
updates?
one. Yeah, I have one update. I just wanted to let you know that we do have one applicant for the Civil Service Commission that will be reviewed in the course of the next week.
Excellent. Wow, that's good news. I was going to ask you before the meeting, but this is good news. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
Any updates, Chief?
Yeah.
Wicks?
I'll go first. Commissioners, I got a mouthful since we've been a couple of months, so here we go. Right now, we're currently operating with 3 openings. And we have 1 police officer candidate in background that we just started a couple weeks ago. With that being said, we also have 5 people still in training. We had 1 person just complete the field training program a couple weeks ago, and now is reported to solo patrol and helping out in our patrol staffing, which is huge. We have 1 person who just graduated from the academy last week. We just had 1 person start the academy this week. We have 1 candidate in waiting and a second candidate we just hired Monday who just joined the department, and we're waiting for his academy slot. So, and then in the PSS2 position, we spoke about. We have one person in background, and we've been doing that for a couple weeks now. And our background investigator is headed to Dallas, Texas to start the official part of the background because that's where the candidate lives. So that is my report. I'll turn it over to Chief Hurley.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you. A few things here. We currently have 2 firefighters in academy. They're in 2 separate academies. The first one will graduate on April 19th, and I can't remember the exact date, but the second one will be sometime after that. The first one's in an academy at North Bend at the state's training academy, and the other is in the Lacey Academy. As I mentioned before, we do have retirements coming up. We have 2 paramedics, and I believe I mentioned this a while ago, but we have 2 paramedics retiring at the end of June. Each of them have been with the department for about 28 years. And our fire prevention officer is retiring at the same time. And Mark's been with us for 25 years, so very senior employees. We did, there is paramedic testing through Medic One coming up in mid-April. So we're hopeful that we'll have some candidates eligible to be placed on hiring lists as well. And as a result of much of this testing and some of the things that you've approved tonight, we were able to promote Alex Bates to the Battalion Chief Medical Services Officer position. And then we promoted Doug Stankovich to fill his paramedic lieutenant position. So those are the activities in the fire department.
Thank you, Chief. Sounds like there have been quite a bit of activities and movement in your staffing. Is it fair to say that, compared with a year ago, you're in much better position now?
Yes, I think so. We're trying to get ahead of these retirements, but we're in an okay position. Some of the other agencies in the county who have paramedics are struggling to fill a number of positions right now, but all of us are facing the same hiring challenges.
Thank you. How about you, Chief Weeks? Is it fair to say the same thing about your staffing compared with a year ago?
We're doing okay. Just a lot of new people, and when we look at the upcoming retirements we expect in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to have a lot of new people coming. I think you're going to see consistent hiring for the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay. We'll be busy, and I'm glad that we'll hopefully look forward to having a new commissioner joining us, and that'd be a wonderful thing. Michelle, you think would that be a chance that the new person will be appointed by the next meeting scheduled date?
The next meeting date is April 11th. I'm not sure at that point. We do need to do some, we don't do a background check, but we do like to check references and things like that. So it will be dependent on that schedule.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I sure look forward to hopefully seeing a new commissioner joining us. Commissioner Chart, do you have any comments?
No, not at this time.
Well, any other issue before we adjourn tonight? Anyone?
Oh,
All right, if that's the case, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn.
I second the motion, and those who approve of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for the participation tonight, and have a good evening, and I see you guys next month.
Thank you. commissioners. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Right. Bye-bye.